Today's best music.
Magic 89.9.
We'd like to introduce and welcome Miss Maria Gianna Margarita Llanes.
Hey, what's up? Full name talaga.
Wow, you gave her the full respect there, man. You gave her the full
That's
name.
a full name.
Yeah, I mean, if people recognize her voice, she did board with Boom before.
Yes. Yeah, I was a junior jock for around 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm familiar with you guys. How's everyone doing?
Good. How about you? How's everything on your side of the world?
Everything's doing good. I am in Manila right now, but I'm heading to go to Canada tomorrow. So everything's kind of just been on a whim. And I was actually in Mindanao for a month and a half covering a basketball league there. So I just got back here a couple weeks ago, and then now I'm leaving again.
Okay.
How's that?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously with a lot of, protocols in place, restrictions, even for, the PBA. I mean, that league in Mindanao, was that in a bubble as well? Or how are things? Were you like, oh shoot, okay, what? Well, every day you go out, are you like in a full hazmat suit, or do you have a mask on?
Yes, sir.
Are you like
Your mic is on, Sam.
Sorry. Sorry, my bad. Kala ko, naka-off pa ako.
Hot mic yan.
Sorry, Rob. Parang nasa Senate hearing lang.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, but continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Mindanao was fun. I was in a bubble and the league just kept getting delayed. So I got there mid-June, found out it was going to get delayed a month, came back to Manila.
What, you were delayed a month?
Yeah, the league was delayed a month.
The league.
Oh, the league.
The league.
Yeah, because it scared me.
Kinabahan si Sam. Oh, delayed.
Thanks for the concern, Sam. Thanks for the concern.
Yeah, just making sure. Carry on. Back to you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was fun. We were in a little bubble, just lived in a dorm with 3 other girls, and then a bunch of like the coaches, the referees. We were all in that little bubble.
So
it was an experience.
Yeah. So what kept you sane there in that little bubble?
we were with coaches in one room?
Yeah. Well, they lived in. There were like a few teams in our little compound. Yeah.
All of you guys living in one in a.
That'd be crazy.
The referees, the players.
Yeah.
That'd be insane. But as soon as you step out of the room, everyone, it's like all boys. There's 4 of us girls. So
it would have been Tony's dream setup. So if he was the commissioner of this league,
I'm looking for a bed space here just in time.
I'll bring you with me next time so you experience it. But yeah, it was fun.
But what kept you sane in the bubble?
There was a gym there, so I did get to work out every day, and during the day we would just cover the basketball games. And I love basketball. I love being around it and watching it. So it was really nice to have that to get my mind off things and to just focus on the work.
Sorry, how long was this bubble for? Like, how long were you?
I was there for a month and a half, but the teams were there for 4 months because it was supposed to start in April.
Damn.
So they were waiting for a while.
So they were in a bubble for 4 months.
For 4 months.
Wild.
Was it frustrating at times, even though it was only a month, Gianna? I mean, our boss was actually thinking of, having us in a bubble, but I don't think it's conducive because they have
bubble.
Yeah, because you guys have families, right? So I mean,
being pwede naman. Depende. Sino kasama natin sa bubble tones?
Tayo lang. I mean, I don't mind, but obviously when you have family, it's a different story. But I mean, with you, Gianna, was there at any point that you were reaching a boiling point, like, oh no, okay, it's been a month, I need to get out.
Well, I'm lucky because I live by myself, so I didn't feel as homesick, except from my dog. But when you live with the same people, it does get frustrating. You get to, I don't know, you annoy each other eventually. And then when I got back to Manila, I super missed them. So it was an interesting experience for sure. It was an interesting dynamic.
But you're leaving again tomorrow. So do you already know what the setup is going to be like for when you compete for Miss Canada?
Yeah, so Miss World Canada is starting on September 27. And I did join a pageant last year, but it was completely virtual here in the Philippines.
Right.
So I'm so excited to finally be in a pageant where I'm competing on stage. I've been trying to prepare for it as much as I can, working out and practicing my walk, practicing Q&A. We're all going to be in a hotel over there in Canada for starting September 27. And then the coronation night is on October 3rd.
Okay, where is this hotel? Because Tony is
Yeah.
going to be our
Just for-
Tony's, yeah, he's going to be
our
our
roaming
checking.
correspondent. Yes.
Yeah, just pre-checking.
So
I got you. Send you the address.
he will check in too, so he will be in your bubble.
I'm sure they have a suite there that he can stay in, like the penthouse. I don't know. It's just
But how'd you decide to get into this pageant?
Well, so I was in Miss Philippines Earth last year, and I knew that my next pageant, I wanted it to be in Canada because I'm a dual citizen and spent half of my life in Canada and half of my life in the Philippines. In the Philippines, it's crazy competitive when it comes to pageantry here, and it's very structured. But then in Canada, it's a little more carefree. They care about how the girls articulate more so and show off their personalities. So I think that's why I wanted to try something else, try something different. I'm 26 right now, so kind of getting up there in the age when it comes to pageantry. And I was going to join Miss Universe Canada originally, but they appointed the girl that's going to compete this year. And I was like, I'm getting old.
Politics.
So.
No,
The girl was first runner up. So the pageant's going to happen in December already. So they needed someone who they want to train.
Right.
And it takes months of training before a girl goes internationally. So yeah, that's why I joined Miss World Canada.
You mentioned earlier that you practiced, your walk, you're working out, and then also the Q&A. How exactly do you practice Q&A? Like, do you kind of have like a list of all the questions that were asked before, and then you kind of just go through it on your own since you do live alone?
Yeah, so when I practice on my own, I just review all of the questions that were asked in previous pageants because usually they are repeated or they have the same gist.
Okay.
And there's also pageant camps here in the Philippines. So you have trainings with them. Sometimes it's one-on-one trainings with, whether it be like a law student, a lawyer. Usually it's people in law who's going to ask those questions. Or you're with other girls if you're all in the same pageant. That's like a 2 or 3 hour session once a week. And they just throw questions at you. You have to answer it within 30 seconds to a minute.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
But do you think, like, say...
Does it always have to be a lawyer? Can it be a broadcaster?
I could be a broadcaster. It's even better. Why not?
Yeah, I was about
Tones
to...
wants to ask the question.
Exactly. Tony will ask the question. So he's ready to go through the bubble.
I printed out a list of questions. I have 100 questions. So
Awesome. Send them over or see at the bubble.
Yeah, he'll be ready. But do you think doing all the TV stuff and obviously the radio stuff, does it make it give you that edge, especially when it comes to the Q&A portion?
It's a huge advantage. It's a huge advantage for sure. I'm going to be honest. I practice my walk more than my Q&A just because I feel like I'm more comfortable speaking in public. And the secret to pageantry is when it comes to Q&A, you can kind of say anything as long as the delivery is great. Everyone's going to gravitate towards your answer and think that you're amazing. So it has helped me working on radio, working on TV, working in sports, just being comfortable talking to a camera and to an audience. Huge help.
I know with Miss Earth, there's always an advocacy, and your advocacy was, I believe, what is it? Intergenerational responsibility.
Natural disaster risk education. So more on educating the youth about natural disasters. And then I started my own initiative, which we were distributing relief goods to people affected by COVID or the fires here in Mandaluyong or the different typhoons that happened across Metro Manila. So that's what I've been doing the past year. And I'm kind of shifting my advocacy from Miss Philippines Earth to Miss World with the same gist.
Okay, so it's still national disaster preparedness. And
More so focusing on the stories of the victims of loss in the past year from COVID, from, the typhoons that have been happening. There's a lot of natural disasters in Canada too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look into that more.
Yeah.
The biggest disaster.
Disaster already,
They call him the TT, Tony Torpedo.
Tony Tornado.
Grabe.
Tornado, yeah.
So do you see yourself
It's nice. Canada is nice.
Yeah.
It's cold there.
staying in Canada if obviously after the whole event, or you're heading back to Manila? What are your plans?
I'm guessing if I do get a crown, they're going to send me back over to here to Manila because the pageant training here is still the best, like one of the best around the world, and a lot more accessible than it is in Canada. But my lease for my apartment right now is 6 months. So if I need to move back to Canada, I'm going to move to Canada if I have to. It's really it's all up in the air right now.
But if you need a place, see, Tony, he can provide it.
Yeah.
He does have extra units here and there,
You can stay in the East Wing. He's got the West Wing, so it's fine. Okay.
Okay, noted.
Nako.
Nag-iisip ka na kung saan. Nag-iisip ka na, Like you're already thinking, okay, where?
Done deal. So, I only accept no less than a year.
He's trying to figure
Also,
out
the friends in the pageant, they're welcome to, I'm sure Tones has a lot of room, so it's fine.
So
Let them know, Tony.
What are you most excited about with traveling? I know you've traveled locally, provincially, right?
Yeah.
But nationally, will this be the first time that you're leaving the country in the 2 years that we've been on lockdown?
Yeah, this is the first time. And I did want to go home to Canada last year, but obviously that didn't happen. So I'm just excited for the weather, the food, just to be in that environment in Canada. It's a lot more free there than here in the Philippines, so I've heard. So I'm just excited to be out and about. And a lot of people are vaccinated over there.
Yeah.
So it's a lot safer.
Speaking about the pandemic, and we touched upon your future and the pageantry, but what about the future of your status, your social life? And have you been dating? Obviously, single.
Yeah, segue.
I thought Tony was about to say, what's the status of us?
What's the status of our future?
Tones.
It's nice that you're thinking about your future in the pageant.
Or are you focused right now and a guy will just,
Oh, that's a legit question now. Dating in the pandemic is hard. I'm sure a lot of people that are listening right now can relate. During the pandemic, I got out of a long-term relationship. So I didn't think that would happen. And then now just trying to meet people or just even talk to people. I feel like everybody's a little lightheaded from the situation that it's hard to have conducive conversations.
Right.
So no, it's hard to talk to people.
But are you open to meeting new people, or is it one of those conscious decisions where you're okay, I can't meet anyone yet because I have to focus on pageantry and.
No, I feel like I'm open to it. If it happens, it happens.
All right.
I wanted to introduce
I live alone.
a good friend.
Yes.
He's actually based in Canada. And I know that you're heading to Canada tomorrow. So if you need, he's also a Canadian national. So, it just makes sense. Tony.
He's also dual citizen.
Crazy.
Yeah. You have that in common already.
Wow. Who would have known? Oh, so many things in common, gosh.
I know.
When you say long term, how long was it?
3 years. It was pretty public too, because we worked together in basketball. So
Right.
now everyone's in your business these days.
Yeah.
But you weren't happy.
No, we were good.
Okay.
Things happen.
No,
We're good. Things just
Yeah,
happened. The stars just didn't
If there's anyone that
align.
yeah, he didn't sound happy.
if there's anyone that can relate to dating a coworker, then it's slick.
Wow.
Wait, no, it's you, Tones.
Wow. I see it's every man for
wait,
himself.
wait,
Time.
sorry.
You and you.
No, sorry. Tony just, did not date them, just banged
This
them.
is where friendship is destroyed.
This is where it ends.
Market 6:14 on a Tuesday.
How advantageous is it? What are the pros and what are the cons? If you've never had that colleague that you've dated, it has its pros and has its cons.
Yeah, for sure. Is that a question to me? Just to everyone?
Are you happy now? What's your happiness level now?
Probably like an 8 or a 9, just because life takes away, but it gives back. So when I got out of the relationship, I got so many job opportunities that I didn't think would happen. So that's been awesome. But of course, like I'm 26, so want to get married soon, start a family. And I thought that was what's going to happen. Because of that, that's another reason why I was able to join this pageant. Because when you're married, you can't really join pageants. So I'm
Look at
giving
Tony's
myself
face
this
when
one
you
more
use
chance.
when you use the word married. Tone's face just changed.
Yeah. He became distant all of a sudden. He
It's
went-
like, boys, you continue the interview. Ah.
Peace out. Peace out.
Ay, nabala dyan.
Okay. Yun na lang.
Yeah.
But okay, so what are you looking
Yeah.
for, say, in a potential next partner?
Just someone who's respectful, someone who knows what they want. And I'm pretty adventurous too. I love to travel. So someone who's willing to just explore the world.
Oh man, like it's so perfect.
It's so Tony.
Man, if you look at Tony, he's
Kaso,
like,
yung word na married.
oh, I mean, if we can work on the marriage part, then maybe, because I mean, Tony's whole hashtag, where's he? Like, he's always traveling. He's such a worldly guy.
But always remember his quote, we can hang, just don't fall in love.
Yun. Oh, it's hard. It's hard.
Yun talaga. Oh, okay, how about physically? Physically, what catches your eye?
I think as the years go by, the physical has been less and less important. But
It's changed.
I mean, let's be honest.
It's
But
like younger years, basta guwapo.
Hindi na masyadong
what's the point
choosy.
of Instagram? Yun yung...
Ngayon, hindi na masyadong
Instagram,
choosy.
okay ka.
Ngayon, basta
What's the
mabait,
Instagram?
respectful.
Oo, basta masipag. Ganun.
Pero ingat kayo sa mga Instagram na minsan mga model. Pag nakikita mo sa toong buhay, iba pala itsura.
Catfish, yun.
Talaga? Has that
Na-DM
happened
ka
to
ba,
you,
Sam?
Sam?
Na-DM ka ba?
Hindi, may na-meet ako.
Kunyari.
Off-air na lang, off-air.
Ay,
Sino to? Sino?
Ayoko
Ibang-iba.
sabihin.
Ibang-iba?
Ibang-iba.
Here got peer.
Have you been catfished, Gianna?
Yeah, I have.
Really?
Wow.
How was that?
I have. That's why I don't use dating apps anymore, because I haven't catfished.
Oh.
What happened?
Can you tell us about
Yeah.
it? Like, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. After my first relationship, I was in the States. I was studying in Harvard, taking a class over there. Decided to swipe through Tinder, I believe, because I'm in a different country. Some guy asked to hang out. I asked my friends, should I hang out with him? Send his Instagram, because if you have their Instagram, you think, okay, they're legit. Like, this is how they actually look like.
Yeah.
But the only pictures he had were a side view.
Profile picture daw eh. Well, I'm asking for a profile
Oh.
picture. Oh, here, I'll give you a profile picture.
Ito yung profile ko.
It's just like,
and then
oh,
when
this
I
is my
saw him, exactly. When I met up with him, he had a nice car, picked me up and everything, but he just looked completely different. That I ended up walking home.
You can only look at me in this angle. Just only look at me.
Mamamol tayo pero naka-side view lang ah.
Tapos let me just fix the light. I'll fix the light.
Angles.
I mean, the side view photo and his face was just not your liking at all. It was just
He just wasn't my type. And there was just no connection. So what's the point of continuing? I mean, we did finish the date. He offered to bring me home, but I decided to walk home instead. Just reflect on what happened and how I won't make that mistake again.
I think the new thing now, well, not the new thing, but I think now everyone knows about catfishing. So everyone does the
Yeah.
FaceTime. If you ain't coming on video, don't
Coming. Yeah.
Then you ain't
That's true.
coming.
That's
On the
true.
date. You ain't coming
On the date.
Right, exactly.
So you gotta be coming on the video
That's what
so
we
that I
mean.
know it's you.
That's the only way to check. Really, honestly, is to actually face to face online video, because there's so many fake people. You know, I mean, there's so many fake accounts. People trying to be someone that they're not. It's actually unbelievable. You know,
Yeah.
like
People sending you nude photos on Instagram and you're like, you have no idea who they are.
like MTV has a show. It's been like, what is it? It's on. It's like 9th season. It's called Catfish,
I love
it's
that show. Crazy.
Yeah, it's people thinking that they're actually. I can't believe the Chris Brown one. She actually thought she was in a relationship with Chris Brown, and they investigated it. Oh my gosh! And it was I believe a female that perpetrated to be Chris Brown. She had recordings of Chris Brown's voice and would edit it and stuff like that. It's unbelievable how.
That's crazy.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work. And it was always a
fake yung mga videos.
Yeah, it was always Gino. Dark silhouette, and he always had a cap and a hoodie. So you didn't know if it was this could be Chris Brown. Put in your
yeah.
No way. You know what I mean?
Well, but I get it. Like, I get it. You're like, oh, okay, it could be him. And being a girl, you would understand, like,
nice
okay, but then, it's probably him. It's probably, you give them the benefit of the doubt.
Would you, though, knowing what he did to Chris Brown, I mean, to Rihanna, like, it's like, after that, you'd probably be a little bit careful about, Chris Brown in general.
Oh, for sure.
People are like, they would rather be with Chris Brown at all lengths and not think about the bad stuff. You know what I mean? They think about the fame and who he is first, and not what he's done. You know what I mean? It's only when they realize they're in that situation that, oh shit, oh no,
might not have. But what are some of your red flags? Like, now that I know you mentioned that you just got out of a long-term relationship. Like, what are some of the, just some of the red flags that you kind of automatically will say no to if you're going out on a date with somebody?
You know what? As you get older, the red flags diminish too. No, I'm kidding. But
it becomes yellow. It's like, I can.
Guy is gonna be sending you a DM after the show. Every dude.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
I heard wala ka ng red flags.
Tapos your standards have gone down. Ryan?
Standards have gone down. Hello, my name is.
Red flag. I'm married, by the way. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, of course, that's a red flag. I mean, straight up, like working in basketball, you do realize you have to be more cautious with who you're talking to. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the fact of it. You have to make sure they're not married, they don't have a girlfriend. Of course, those are red flags. I also am not a huge fan of smokers.
But then sometimes they forget, don't they, Gianna? That they're in a relationship. I don't know what it is, but some guys just forget.
Amnesia. Diba? Meron na nakakalimot na martial law to. So, relationship pa kaya? Baka kaya. Diba?
Like, they're in front of the girl and they realize that their girlfriend is right beside them or their wife, and they forget and they start talking to the girl.
Crazy, right? Yeah. Crazy.
So, smokers, married people.
Of course.
Yeah.
I like tall men. So someone like
define tall. Because tall is very relative, for somebody who's 5'1", 5'5" could be tall. So
I'm around 5'6", so I usually like 6 footers. But my grandpa always told me. So my grandpa was a professional basketball player before. He's like, once they're 6'2" and above, you got to watch out.
Why? Why is that?
I don't know. He just says like they're dangerous or they're just bad news, according to my grandfather.
So pretty much everyone in the NBA. Everyone in the NBA.
So pretty much.
But Tony's 5'9". I mean, he's pretty dangerous.
5'11" daw si Tones pag ginanit mo daw.
Ay. Depende. Nakahiga pa yun.
11 and a half. Patay pa yan.
Nakahiga yun.
Oh, iba.
Oh my God, you bastards.
Our correspondent in the Canada, si Tones.
Canadian correspondent.
And you said that you're doing all the dieting, you're getting ready for the pageant, but when you get there, when you get to Canada, what's the first thing that, say, you'll indulge in? Something that you're like, oh, I miss eating this, and I
already have it planned. I'm going straight to Pizza and getting just simple cheese slice with the garlic dip.
Yan.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, book it because Tones is already ordering it now.
Bumili na daw ng franchise si Tones. Para
So it's a little bit easier. So just pizza.
Probably pizza, poutine. I love Costco's poutine.
Excuse me? Putin. Sorry. I thought you
Yeah,
said
sorry. Medyo ano.
Nabigla.
Nagulat
Medyo
Tama naman ako.
Fidelix.
Oh.
For those that don't know what poutine is, some people don't know what poutine is.
Yeah, that's true.
is
It's
it?
French fries with cheese curds and gravy, and sometimes they put bacon. It's just like different stuff on it. It's
Give me
good.
some of that shit.
Damn.
Good stuff.
Kaya pala hindi na umalis itong sa Canada eh. Putin na lang eh, no?
Si Boy Putin.
Boy Putin pala to eh.
Iba si Toads.
Iba yung Putin dito, iba. I mean, we have it.
Ba?
There's someone that makes it there, right? But
Do we? Ba? Really?
Meron ba dito?
I've never encountered Putin.
Meron sa Manila?
yeah, there's a guy who's actually he's a born and raised in Canada. And he married a Filipina and is situated near Mall of Asia. I don't know if it's still open, but a fellow Canadian, it was Cheyenne, Bermudez, Quezon, was the one that actually told me. She's like, "Yo, Tones, there's a guy that owns
Paputinan.
a poutine shop, and he's Canadian." I'm like,
Technically, bentahan ng Putin.
Oh,
Sa
Putinan. No, exactly. Sakto. Tama.
So we need to find this guy. So if you're still in business, let us know. Hit us up. We want to try out your product.
Yeah.
Paputin ka naman, di ba?
Oh. You can try it at least.
I want to ask. So for those that are, thinking of entering a pageant, what are some of the things that they should look out for or prepare for the young ladies out there that are watching this, viewing this? What is something that you have to, be aware of?
Oh, right now it's really making noise on social media. Just because all of the pageants are either virtual, if they're live, people can't really watch, so they're able to only follow what you're doing through social media. That's why as soon as I got back here from Mindanao, the first thing I did was look for wardrobe, look for how to showcase Filipino talent, and try to identify myself with my styling, with the posts that I post on my Instagram. I think that's what's most important right now. I think with a lot of the pageants here in the Philippines, girls win because they're making noise on social media. Because of course, at the end of it, pageantry is still kind of a business. The organization still is using, whoever wins as a talent. So that's why they kind of want someone who's a little more popular, or at least generating conversation.
So for the girls out there, that you have to be social savvy, I guess, right?
Yeah, for sure.
In the mindset.
Mga ganun, TikTok.
Oh yeah.
TikTok. And then when I joined Miss World Canada, they asked me to make a Twitter because I shut that down.
Right.
And then they asked me to start a new one just so I could be active on that.
Oh.
Oh wow. Okay. Why did you shut your Twitter down?
It's a little toxic. For me, it's the most toxic social media platform. There's just so much negativity there. I don't know, especially during the pandemic. You don't need to be reading people hating on each other.
Twitter, always entertaining.
How do you feel about that?
Exactly.
Being in such a positive, obviously empowered event such as Miss Philippines or Miss Earth and now Miss World Canada, how do you handle the toxicity of social media, the trolls, the hate? I mean, it's inevitable. It coexists, with the good and the bad, with everything else. So how do you manage it?
At this point, I think I'm really lucky because, as you mentioned earlier, I started working as a VJ for Mix when I was 18. So I was really young. I'm 26 now. It's been 8 years. So I've learned to just ignore it. If someone comments on one of my posts, something negative, I usually delete it and then block them just because that's my own social media. I want it to be a positive space. If I see it on someone else's socials, I just ignore it. During Miss Philippines Earth, there were a lot of predictions on who they thought was going to win. Mm-hmm. And I would never be in the predictions. And it did get to me during that time. I was going to quit because I was like, I'm doing everything. Why aren't they noticing me? And one of my mentors said, just wait for them to hear you speak. Because when it comes to pageantry, there's a point where you're going to peak. And that's when everyone's going to start noticing you. So he was like, just wait for your peak. And I did. And then after that, I was in the predictions and everything went well. So now when it comes to negativity on social media, I just ignore it. I mute a lot of the pageant blogs when I'm actually in the pageant, just because I don't want to hear, that another girl is better than me, another girl is prettier than me. It at least keeps me focused on myself, for sure.
Speaking of peaking, do you feel that you've reached your peak, or you still have so much more to break through that ceiling?
I think I have so much more to break through the ceiling, but I am taking my master's right now in psychology. So I'm not sure if my peak remains in the media, doing radio and TV and sports and pageantry. I'm hoping that eventually I do figure out my peak, and it might be in psychology instead.
Maybe you could do both,
Cool. Yeah. You can have like a radio show / TV show.
Yeah. Think about it.
Yeah, just apply. You never know.
Been applying for everything too. That's what the pandemic's taught me. Like, whatever opportunity is out there, just been applying for it.
I mean, it seems like you've done so much, productive stuff during the pandemic. Have you done anything, just to kind of like
us,
not productive?
Unproductive.
I just want to find kadamay. Oo nga eh.
No, I wish.
Yeah, si Eddie was telling us na puro work lang siya, tas ngayon, ganito rin. So parang tayo lang ba yung walang ginagawa sa buhay? Parang...
No, eme lang yun. I'm not productive. It's just, eme lang.
Tambay ka rin ba? Parang
matambay ako. I got out of a 3-year relationship. Of course, I cried over that for like how many months, and just staying in bed and just hanging out. Drinking wine by myself and watching Netflix. Like,
there you
I have it for months.
What kind of wine do you drink?
I
have a favorite brand, so you can buy it in SNR. It's called Saint Celine. It's 1.5 liters and it's 300 pesos lang.
Wow.
1.5 liters?
Tapos 300 pesos.
300 pesos lang.
Sulit na sulit.
Para sulit. Para litro pack ng soft drinks.
Yes. So check it out.
Ayos ah.
Siguro naka like 6 bottles of wine ako in like a month.
Wow, get your drink on talaga.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I've been doing. Been unproductive. And then when I came back from the basketball bubble, from living with around 30 people, I live by myself. So I had a week of like just being sad and crying and like being alone. So that's the reality of it. The pandemic.
Never would have figured. I mean, just how you are now. Yeah. I mean, you seem chipper.
Yeah, it's like you bounce back, which is great. I mean, it's not easy going through a breakup, more or less going through a breakup during a pandemic. I mean, I don't know how it is. I could not.
I don't know how it is because you've never gotten into a relationship you got broken up with, right?
Yeah, so he's happy.
Yeah. It's okay, Tones. It's all right.
So at least you don't have to go through the pain, I mean, in my situation, I lived with my partner too. So imagine from living with someone to living alone.
Right.
It's a huge adjustment.
You were living in for 3 years. Wow, that's man. Yeah. Who was the one to leave? Who decides to leave and who decides to stay?
It was a good discussion. We did look into our options. I decided to stay, so I'm here right now at the place we shared together.
So a lot of memories are still yeah.
I kept the dog.
Okay. Wow. How did that discussion go? I wanna find out.
He's probably gonna watch this. No, we just had a few conversations about it. I did offer for him to stay here and for me to move to somewhere else. Yeah. And he wanted to live with his friends. So he lived with his friends right after. And then he's still been living with his friends. He went back to the States with his family. That's where he's at right now. I got the dog. Been here alone. Just because we got such a good deal on this place that I didn't really want to let it go. And like you made it into a home. Yeah, but we switch off with the dog too.
Okay.
When he's here. So the dog's a little confused right now, like which
Very
is my home.
mature, very adult, very adult.
Co-parenting.
I know. It's like, okay, you get him on weekends, and like he stays with me on a weekday.
Yeah, for sure. That's how it is.
Is it hard to continue to be friends on that same level, knowing that you guys had just broken up? I mean, it's not when two people are obviously on that state of maturity. Fine, it can happen, but obviously when someone still has feelings, having that friendship card is sort of tough. Especially, I mean, you're trying to move on, but obviously the dog or anything that is connected with the other person, your ex, is quite difficult to actually make progress sometimes, because there's that continuous, conversation. You're seeing that person again. So you'll have that dip. You'll have that emotional dip, during the day, weeks, months later. So, seeing them again and then, oh, you know what? I'm lonely. Why not? Why don't you just come over?
Well, that hasn't happened. Just because, I guess if you really care for the person, you really think about your decisions afterwards. You don't want to just get into things right after and mess up all of the progress. But it was hard. It was hard being friends afterwards and having the same friend group and hanging out. But it did help when my ex moved back to the States or went back to visit his family. And when I went to go to cover the basketball league in Mindanao. So at least we didn't see each other. We didn't have to think about each other because we were just focused on other things. And yeah, since then, we just have been giving each other space for now because 3 years is a lot, and being married, being ready to get married after 3 years is a lot as well. So just taking advantage of the situation right now. That's why I'm so excited to go to Canada and just focus on the pageant and just figure out, I guess, the missing part of me still before I settle down.
Nice.
Yeah, so at least you have that little adventure.
Yeah.
Ready to go all out? Does that mean that you're ready to go all out before you get hitched?
Si Tones talaga.
Just gonna go ham. Yeah.
Window.
We're just concerned about you, We're concerned about you.
Saan ba ako papasok sa equation na? Diba? Kasi hindi tayo pwede dun sa marriage part eh. So kailan ako okay. Good job, Tones.
Yeah, when she goes all out, Tony's there.
There's that opening space for just for the
you want to be that good luck Chuck. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You want to be that for that opening,
the sweet spot.
Opening. You want to say that's when I was a bit, I let all my inhibitions go.
I went crazy for a little bit, and then
moment that I met this person, and it was crazy. It was wild, but that's it.
Yeah.
It ended last. And now I'm.
And it's because of him that I realized I didn't want to do crazy anymore. I wanted something more stable. That's it.
That's what you realize. Okay. There's the good guy out there.
Yeah.
I think she's ready. She's ready, Tones. Right when she lands.
To go all out? That's tough.
Canada tomorrow, Tones.
Make it happen, Tones.
Send. I think I have the flight details here. Yeah.
My flight details agad.
I see the manifest.
Are you gonna be quarantined? No need.
No, there's no need for quarantine when I get to Canada, thankfully.
It's boring. In the Philippines, you have to. Anyway.
For 10 days.
10 days, 7 days, depends if it's a green country.
Yeah, but I think Canada is still in the red zone.
What are the green countries?
We're in the red zone.
Maybe.
100 cases.
Yeah, Canada's still in the red zone. So it's still 10 days of quarantine. Just hanging out.
Well, the red zone never stopped me.
Damn.
Wow.
All right, Tones.
All right. Yeah. You know what? We have 4 categories before this goes off into another conversation. You have to put each one of us in a category. So
okay.
So it's joke time, good time, short time, long time. Joke time is your funny friend. That's all it is. It's like, hey, tell me a joke. okay, we're just friends. Good time is someone that you can hang out with, say, have bubble tea, have some
Like a best
boba.
friend.
There.
Yeah, best
All
friend.
right.
And then next one is short time. That is your fling.
Or we call it bad time.
What?
Bad times.
Yeah.
Stones.
Oh, so it depends.
Stone's still looking for his window.
We'll call it short time. So short time is that, and then long time is someone that, all right, you could be someone that we can have a relationship with. So once again, it's joke time, good time, short time, long time. So the first one is joke time.
Ooh. Man, put on the spot. Hindi naman ako mapapahamak dito na.
No.
So you guys are all right.
Be as judgmental as
No one's feelings are gonna get hurt.
No,
I'm kidding.
I've been hurt so many times.
Pain is an old
Ay,
friend.
hugot.
You know.
Hugot.
I mean, you've probably seen some of us anyway, so.
Yeah, I think I've met all of you guys in person before, back in the day. Joke time.
Joke time.
I'd say slick.
All right.
Yeah.
Joke time.
Well, I met you. You're throwing out some jokes over there.
He's a
Yeah, he's
funny
the
guy.
jokester. Among all
He's a
of us.
funny guy.
I'm a
Gago ka, Tones. Ba't ka natatawa, Tones?
Why? Are you not funny? Did I interpret you the wrong way?
Ba't ka natatawa, Tones?
I'm the joking one.
That's the jokester.
Stand-up comedian. He always gets a lot
Yeah,
of.
you should listen to Slick when he does his stand-up. Tama si Tones.
He's a stand-up guy.
Sige.
That's where it starts.
Stand-up kind of guy.
Stand-up kind of guy.
Oh,
Yung
standing
isa nga,
lang,
nasa
standing.
Japan, iniwan eh.
Ayun. Stand up.
Sabi niya, sunod ako dyan.
Pero okay naman. She found her way. Next
Hindi mo naligaw.
is
time.
good time.
Good time. Gino.
Yun.
Yeah, just very like your energy is just so
friendly guy.
light. Yeah, you seem like a friendly guy. Short time Tony because he's afraid of marriage, right?
That's true.
I don't think I'm afraid of marriage.
Ay, kumabig si Sir. Ayop.
Here I go. Cambio.
Oh, teka, sige, let's
I mean, that's what they've been saying for the
I gotta hear
past.
this. Sige, Tones,
Okay.
an explanation mo.
It's actually the piece of paper that why you get into marriage, and just if you're more for just having the piece of paper, that's what I'm afraid of. I don't think marriage is based on having a piece of paper and you saying
What if
that,
it's digital only, Tones? No paper.
Yeah. Oh. Even the signature, PDF file. Oh.
we're focused on the marriage the word marriage, that we're not focused on the actual nurturing of the relationship, and that's where I have problems with, because everyone's ready for the marriage, the wedding, but they're not ready to commit to the actual relationship, to prolong it.
What is
to
your
have it.
definition of commitment?
Kaya nga to.
What is
Now,
your
this is
definition?
just opening a can of worms I've never heard before.
I know, exactly. What is your definition?
yeah.
I always say this in all of my podcasts that I've been interviewed, and I'd hardly talk about it, but it's been a consistent thing where it's committed to the commitment. A lot of people are ready to just bail out when it's bad times, and it's a variable you can never control. How a person will feel, think, and be. That's something that you cannot control. So one thing that you can control is yourself. So I've never been big on the marriage aspect. I think it's more on just being that person, and then seeing if it works, and it works, and if it doesn't, then fine. I mean, I'm not big on it because it's not my focus. It's more on just sharing life, till its fullest.
So wait, let me try to understand this. You're okay with commitment until it's not okay anymore. Like if
Or until
kunwari
magkapirmahan ng paper.
parang,
No, I just want to know what's the reasoning behind the piece of paper? Why you want it? Why why?
oh, let's just say that like
What's
okay,
the important to
sabihin natin na it's for the legal purposes, which is like if I die, at least you get all of the stuff that we built together. Something like that.
Yeah,
That's the only reason they want the piece of paper.
yeah, but at the end of the day, when I see how a lot of the setup is in the system, a lot of people aren't happy after 10, 15, 20 years. There's only a few people that I've met that have really loved their partner through and through. There's only a handful, which is great. I'm not saying that marriage isn't for everyone. Marriage it can be fruitful. It can be amazing, right? If both parties are in it, through the long haul. I've just seen so many that haven't been so prosperous after 15, 20, 30 years, and I see that it hurts the kids more when you do have kids and you see how the nurturing, of their kids, it's like a domino effect. And so for me, it's better if you're separated rather than be toxic and still in a relationship where two people aren't even, they're not even communicating. They're not even sharing life.
So let's just say that there's a woman out there for you who 100% I can guarantee you're going to be happy until the day you die, and she's going to be happy also until the day she dies, and it won't affect your kids or whatever. But you have to stay in a relationship together without any third party, without anything like that. Are you okay with that?
Well, first and foremost, I would not be with someone that makes me happy. I think, you have to find that happiness from within.
No. Yeah. Given that, like, you're already you're wholly happy on your own, but like she's a great add-on, great expansion pack to your happiness.
She's on that same. She's on that same level. And she is self-sufficient. She's independent. She has the same mindset.
Think about this. She's you in a skirt.
Yeah, then she wouldn't care for the piece of paper. I think, like Cindy Carletto.
Live-in. Okay lang yung live-in status. Yun.
I think Cindy Carletto matches it. She's been with David for what, 20 years, 18 years, I think. 18, 20 years, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They have 2 kids. They've been together for forever. They've been actually faithful for that long of a I don't know what you call it, relationship. Aubrey and Troy. I think this marks also I think they're in their 20th year, and and it's something like that the piece of paper isn't important, but I think the values of the marriage. We see so many people who are married, but the values aren't intact. They're straying away. They're not happy with the marriage, or something's not right. And that's why psychologists have jobs. That's why Doc Rica is doing so well right now. And I think that's where I question it. I don't want it where the first 3 years is great. The roller coaster, the honeymoon stage is always great. But what happens after the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th year? And I just see guys and women the zest of life is like squirted out of them. And it's like Gianna. She, after her 3 years now, she's like free as a bird, and she should be like that within a relationship. She shouldn't have to be sort of restrained. She should be living a full life, whether she's single or not. And I think that's what So
sorry, my dog. My dog's mad at your statement. He doesn't agree.
Pro-marriage yung dog ni si Doggy. Pro-commitment.
I think people who are free in their relationship is awesome. I think that I'm for that. I'm totally for that.
So open relationship, that's...
Basta walang pirmahan ng kontrata.
Whatever at that time, that's very subjective. Some people are polyamorous now. Some people are bisexual. Some people are, there's so many classifications here in Canada. There's a list of 20 different classifications you could be in a relationship. And I'm like, wow, they actually accept all of these when you apply for any kind of application. They have so many statuses, and you have to respect it. To each his own. I can't say one way's the right way. There's none. It's a time where things are changing, rules are changing, people are evolving, men are becoming women are becoming men. There's just not one there's not one thing that's if I say is right, the right way. I think the right way is what you feel. I think that's the most important. However you feel, and you make that decision, then you have the conviction, and that's the most important. Is where you feel home. So I can't say, okay, this will be the right way. This is the way to do it. I just feel strongly with my mindset and my values. So I don't want to get into something where in a few years I'm out. You know, I just know how I am.
You want to have that freedom na parang, hey, if by 3 years from now, ayoko na, then ayoko na.
Yeah, because I'm not a guy that wants to prolong anything that I'm not happy with. I think life is so short that why force something that you don't want anymore? And the toxicity of that is if both parties aren't happy and you don't want to make it work, okay, you know, and that's why
Kumbaga, kailangan may exit strategy. Or may exit.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why J-Lo is on her fifth marriage. You know what I mean? You know, because I guess it's more. I guess growing up also in my environment's a bit different. I didn't grow up in the Philippines, right? I grew up here, so I'm very liberal. And they just won the election yesterday, so.
So Gianna, tama ka nga. Short time si Tones. Pang short time.
I chose correctly, no? Just kidding. I have a question though. Someone asked me this recently, and I want to ask you guys. Kasi feel ko the answers vary. I don't know, maybe on gender and viewpoints. But would you rather die alone, or be in a loveless marriage?
Be alone. Easy.
Be alone.
Be alone.
Easy?
Be alone. Yeah. Easy. Like, why would I want to be in a loveless marriage? Like,
I think that's even, you might be living a
lie.
Might be even a sadder life, you know, with somebody that you're not happy with.
Actually,
some people just like companions. Yeah, exactly. Especially in the Philippines, because marriage is so sacred.
I'd rather be alone. Imagine, like, you can buy whatever the heck you want to buy. Go out whenever you want to go out.
I would go with whoever you want.
Exactly. If I were alone, I would have had a big bike. You know what I mean?
Gino, there we go.
Nakamotor na sana ako. Diba? But I'm not in a loveless marriage. I'm in a very...
But I think Gianna hit it.
So it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. You know?
I think you hit the nail right on the head. We see so many people in the Philippines that...
Exactly.
Just for show. I mean, we basically would rather stick around for a relationship that's toxic rather than break up because it will ruin the family, the relatives.
Yeah, actually more than the relatives, I think it's the kids. You know, we got a lot of that na parang, we're sticking together because we have kids and we don't want to together. But diba, parang at the end of the day, like if the kids always see that you're fighting and you're obviously not in a happy situation, then it's not going to be productive for anyone. So you might as well. I mean, obviously you still give it a try. But you know, I mean, obviously you don't quit the first sign of an argument or whatever. I feel like you at least owe it to yourselves to, you know, try to fight for it,
to make it work.
Know when enough is enough. Like have an ultimatum.
Yeah, I don't mind dying alone as long as I'm not, you know what I mean? Because you know, alone is different from loneliness.
And everyone dies alone.
That's true.
Let's face it, diba? Like,
true.
We all die alone. Like, you never die with anyone, you know?
That's true. That's true. No, because I found like here in the Philippines, there's so much pressure for a woman to there's still pressure for a woman to get married and have a family. So ever since I've been single, I'm like, in my viewpoint, also growing up in Canada, I'm like, I'm 26, I'm young. Yeah. You know, I still have time to find the right person. Yeah. But when I talk to other people, especially like my titas and titas, they're like, 26 ka na? Wala ka pang jowa? Hindi ka pa mag-aasawa? Like, soon hindi ka na pwede mag-anak.
You want to make it really awkward for them? After they ask you that, it's like, I just got out of a really long-term relationship. And they're like, oh, okay. So, diba? Like, just make it awkward for them. Because that's no, at least with that part, like, I can kind of, parang,
yeah, there's a lot of pressure.
Be with anyone, that shouldn't be an issue.
Exactly. Or even some of my friends that grew up here, they would be saying that. They'd be like, oh, you're 26 though. Like, aren't you looking for someone already? Don't you want to start dating again so that you can find someone to get married to? but in my own perspective, I'm like, I'm 26, so I'm gonna be doing whatever I want. Like, I still have that time, right?
Yeah, which is
I
fine.
didn't even know what I was doing when I was 26.
Because now you can actually get to say something like, I'm 26, I might not have a boyfriend, but I just won Miss World Canada. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly,
that's something you should be saying, right?
That doesn't know what he was doing at 26. I know who you were doing.
Tones knows who. Tones knows who.
Sam doesn't remember.
Sam had a list. I remember. Sam had a list. He doesn't remember it.
Parang I remember also that year. So parang I remember din.
Really?
I guess for your friends is because they grew up here. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
their mindset. I mean, like for you growing up in Canada, the US, just having that different perspective, that 26 is still young.
Yeah.
Yes. But I went to an American school as well here in the Philippines, which was a missionary kids school. So a lot of my friends are already married. They already have their own kids. I remember I went to a wedding a couple of years ago in Georgia with conservative Christians. And they were like, well, aren't you going to get married soon? I was like, I'm 24. Like, I'm living a good life. And at that time, I was still with my boyfriend. He's 5 years older. They're like, oh, but he's like 29. He's turning 30. Like, shouldn't he be married soon? I feel like there just shouldn't be that standard.
Yeah.
But there still is. Like, surprisingly, there still is that standard.
I would have probably
Titos and
said
titos of
something like,
Manila.
I'm sorry, I'm so busy worshiping Satan. Or, just get
So
the
busy
little
just
TikTok.
drinking my wine. And
I think if you start traveling a lot more, you'll see the different mindsets of 26-year-olds.
Culture,
Even
man.
for sure.
even females in North America. I don't think that's on their minds right now. They're all about
For sure.
trying to.
But I mean, even you gotta give credit where credit is due. Also, like for a lot of even Filipino women, in terms of the age of people getting pregnant, like we've gone a long way. Like before, it was,
for sure.
people would get pregnant at like 19, 20. Now, we have people getting pregnant in their 30s because
Yes.
let's face it, now, people have their careers and, other aspirations that they want to take care of before they actually want to settle down and have a family. So,
I think
That's very true.
it's really the whole biological clock issue.
yun,
That
for the
can't
girls.
really be. It's not really an issue. It's really a biological thing. But you can freeze your eggs if you wish, or
Yeah.
whatnot.
It's not cheap, but that there's that option.
Also, I guess the
Artificial
experience of.
insemination.
I think eggs is cheaper than going into a loveless marriage.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, that's my thinking. I mean, being with the wrong person, obviously, you'll have heartbreak. You'll have your relationships that don't work. That's all part of it. I mean, that's the beauty of it. We wouldn't be able to enjoy a wonderful relationship if we didn't know what a bad one was. Right? We wouldn't have a gauge. So
You wouldn't know what a good sex is if you never had bad sex.
but then there's also great sex.
Exactly.
Exactly. See,
Which
so
you
he
wouldn't
takes it
know
to
if
the-
you've never experienced good sex. Because you only get to differentiate na parang, oh my God, this is Tony level.
That's the only sex that Tony brings is
Exactly.
greatness.
Oh. But for the women out there who have slept with Tony, if they've never slept with anyone else, that's their entry level. That's their
The bar
benchmark.
is set very high.
60 seconds. 60 seconds of
Of bliss. And Nirvana. Oh, but wait, before we forget, so Sam is who you picked as long time.
Yes.
Explanation as to why.
I was a junior jock for a few years, so I've been, following Sam's stories, and I know you're a lover boy.
Yun.
Got you. I got you, lover boy.
That's the way to go.
Laba laba.
So yeah, did I pick right? Like,
Well,
this is
he could end up being the laba boy.
Ano laba boy?
Labada boy. Labada boy. But hey, good luck to you. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I had a good
Best of
time.
luck. Best of
How
luck.
can people follow you on social media? I know this might work for you in the upcoming pageant. Social media.
Yes. Please do check out my Instagram, my Facebook. I got a TikTok. Now I got a Twitter. It's all at Gianna Llanes. So it's GiannaLlanes. I also got a YouTube, but I haven't been posting there a lot. So you can check that out as well. If you want to, like my posts and help me out for Miss World Canada 2021, you can check out the Facebook page of Miss Ontario World. That's where I've been posting a lot of my pictures and a lot of facts about me. And yeah, just follow me over there. If you got any questions, you can hit me up in the DMs. Keep it appropriate, please.
Tony will
Keep
follow
it appropriate.
Yeah, Tony, he'll take care of that. You want to say hi to anyone?
Yeah, my friend at the Gene, who's also a beauty queen, is listening right now. So hello. And my parents are probably gonna be listening to this eventually. What up, parents? My ex might be listening to this. What up? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's pretty much. My dog is here. Hi, Bean. And yeah, thanks to everybody that's been supporting me so far.